Hello everyone, and this is the part second of Python and Pandas series. We have started with the data frames. So first of all, you see here, I can just copy and paste this import pandas, and a data will be there. So this is the whole data we are using for now. So df equals to pd dot data frame. So we're just creating a data frames with the data given in above things. So we'll just run this command, and now we see the data. So the data will look like this. So you get this, the company has the duplicate values with the different person names. So first of all, we see the data dot head. You can use this method to visualize the data as like if the data is very big, so you can get the summary of the data. First, some of the rows will be there. Now we use group by method. First of all, we need to specify what the column you need to be grouped by. So we use the company name, we specify this thing with the df underscore new, and after though, when we just print df underscore new dot mean value, so it can give you the mean values. But as like group by, so it can group the company, and then it can add the 200 plus 120 divided by 2, that is equals to 160, which is being given to you over here. Now you can perform a various activities. First of all, we need to give you a brief this thing. So there is a function called describe. Describes will gives you all the universal functions out there. So it's give you the count, mean, standard deviation, minimum, 25%, 50%, 75%, and maximums also. So you can just visualize all the data with the group by method. So you didn't get the whole mean or whole the standard deviation of the table. You can get only the data based on the company. Just is moving further, like df dot standard deviation will be there. So you got the same answer in there as the sales only, because the company is grouped by and the person is the string value. So the string value doesn't contain any mean value there. So we move further. We have now the three data frames. So in these three data frames, let me just copy this thing up. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it over here. So in these three data frames, we run the one and visualize a single data frames by one by one. So the first data frames consist of this data, and the second data frames consist of let me just run this command, and the second data frames consist of this, and third data frames consist of this. Now what if we do some tweaks out there? So pd dot concat. So the concat function will merging all these data frames in the first place. So df1, df2, and the df3 will be there. Now yeah, so as you see, is a, b, and c are the columns, and all the values is been written below. We want to do some axis thing. So we specify the axis equals to 1 to join everything into the column values. So you got that. So basically it can repeat the a, b, c, d, and after this we need to fill the values. Fill n will be the function as discussed in the previous video. So you got the better visualization. We replace all the nan value with the dot value, so that you can easily visualize the data how it going to be joined. Now we do some extra things out there. So let me just do some tweaks there. Just a minute. Yeah. So we going to do some. So just converting this to the df underscore join. After df underscore join dot let me just put the mean value for there. So yeah, so we get the empty data because it contains the string value, not the int value, so it doesn't give you the mean of that particular function. Okay, yeah, sure. After though, so now we move further for the different topic, and we come here. So we had the two data frames over here. So the first one is left and the second one is right. We just copy paste this thing up, and now we use the visualizing tool to visualize the data. So you get there is a key column, and a and b column will be there, and in the right section you got the same. so with the C and D things, so the key column is the same. So we use pd dot merge function to merging these two data frames together, so like left and right. And how we want to join, we want to join it inner, as this supports only the inner joint function for now. So you got the outer joint also, but the key values will be pressing this thing to be joined innerly. So you didn't get the error, so you joined the whole thing inner and outer. So now if you don't passing any argument, so it will only taking the inner value, so you got the inner joint only of your data frames. So you notice that the key column will be common for the both, and the A, B and C, D are joined by a number. So that's up for the merging for now, and it's a small topic merging, I guess. So move further for the operational ones. So df so we creating another data frames of the df. First we visualize this data frames. So in this data frame, yeah, so column 1, 2 and 3 are the data frames. So let me just visualize for you. So new underscore data frames equals to like says the dfs, what data frames is look like. We wanted to selecting a particular row, so we use the df equals to col 1, and we want like the third value, so we want the fourth one. Okay, so df equals to column 1 where equals to 4, and functions will be there, and the same while you can also specify the df of col second calls. So say call 2 equals to 444, and when you run the command, okay, so we do have an error, so we need to specify the 2 equals to so after this successful run, you can easily get the df underscore new data frames as like this. So you got the last result as what you specified to getting one. So this is how the data frame selection functions also use. So we are another printing the data frames there. So the original data frames is as same as what you just seeing above, and now we do some another thing. So we just creating a small function of let's say times 3, or no, not times 3, that says mul 3. So this mul function of 3 will accepting the x parameter, and inside this function we returning the values with the multiply of x into 3. So we x asterisk and 3. So run the command and successfully run it. So now we wanted to apply this function to the whole data frames column. So we use df call 1, and we specify the call 1 as we have the smaller value, so we get understand. So we got column 1, and then we use df 1 equals to df1 dot applied. So dot apply function will take every parameter and use it to apply for every single function into it. After successful run, so df1 check that. So so you understand that column 1 will going to be multiplied with the 3 times of their value. We use the same thing, and so just copy this thing up, and we use the same thing for the call 2 there. So we just rename this call 1 to the call 2, run the command again, and see the df2, so not see the df only. So while you just seeing this df, you got that the call to functions also, the call to numbers also will get multiplied by the 3 times. So dot apply function can only not only can just give you the right function there. Now dl is the delete function, so we need to delete the whole row for that. So we use the df equals call 1, and when you see the df again, so you got that the column 1 is going to be replaced. You also use the df dot drop na method. So like you can use the drop na method, but as like this is the pre-built function, so we use the del functions for here now. So we have the different categories. You can also use the df dot columns to specify that whatever the columns the data frames has right now, and so we use had the 3 columns, and you can also use the df dot index values also, so you can get that what is the index will representing the data. So we got started with 0, stopped at 4, and the step will be equals to 1. So we got the 4 indexes there. Now, this is what the basic joining, merging, and the data frames tweaking things. So the after that we wanted to use some files to read the data. So how you read the files? First of all, so there is a pre-built function pd.read.csv, and you can get the bunch of list of the files there. So what you wanted to do is just specify your file name over here. So you can go to this folder part, and you can just click on the upload button. So it opens this thing. You can upload the file, and the file will be given here. You can double click to see that file. So in the sample data of my folder, I am having this minitest .csv. I can use this thing up for now. So let me just writing this thing. So we use the dot slash, and then we specify the folder. After that we specify the file we are using. So I'm using test.csv, and just close this thing. So this is how you specify. So when you run the command, it shows the data. So as this is the dummy data, so you got the result. And what if we just wanted this thing in data frames? So we specify a variable first, and then after the data dot head, so we just first of all see the data. So you got that it's containing that much of row which is not in fitting in this thing, and the columns are also the wide enough. So what we are doing is we got this dash dash line, so it is specified that the data is whole. So we use the dot head function for now. So it can give you the summary or the starting sum of the values. Only returns 5 row and 785 columns for now. So we use this thing to tweaking the data first. Now we specify what the columns is look like. So when we just run this command, and we got that there is a list of the command. So we have a 785 columns, so there is a dash line will be there. So it can like gives this thing. So now we use the datas dot index also. So we use the index function to getting the index value. So it says start with 0, stop at 9999, and the step is 1. So every single step will be there. So this is the end for now. So hope you are enjoying this panda series, and this series will consist of all the values. So, okay, so subscribe to this for getting the status update. Thank you.